Well, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Data Sim live stream. Today it is the 2nd of June 2025. It's 4 minutes past 3 in the afternoon. Back in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 in a brand new 737. The 737-500, recently released by the new company, I believe, Commercial Simulation Systems. And I have subscribed to this aircraft on a monthly basis. We'll talk about that in a bit more detail of what I think about it. But here we are in lovely Nantes in France. It's lifetime live weather. We're doing our first ever live stream on a test sector to Düsseldorf. I've got the beautiful MKStudios Düsseldorf scenery to show you when we get on there as well. So stick around. You might earn yourself a copy if you're lucky. But yes, we'll have a look at this aircraft in a bit more detail, externally, internally. We'll set it up as well. Some people are asking in chat, I just saw before the stream, have I been rated, or am I rated on the Classic? I am. My type rating covers me from the 737-300 to the Max. However, I've never flown the Classic, so there would be some sort of differences course I'd have to complete there as well. So I can fly in a very similar fashion to the NG, and which I can do a flight from A to B. There's a lot of quirks and I think issues with this aircraft as well. Again, we've got plenty of time to talk about the quirks on this 1 hour 15-minute flight to Düsseldorf today as well. This is the beautiful Jetstream design scenery for Nantes, by the way, which I've never looked at. But anyway, let's have a look here in chat. I, as I said, subscribe to this aircraft $5 a month, about £3.50. So I don't know if any of the devs, I've never interacted with any of them, will be around. They will be happily, I'm sure, to answer any questions. Anyway, let's zoom on in towards the aircraft and see what's quite busy here. In fact, I'm glad to see. Matt Burgess, hope you're doing well. Hoc est bellum. Any technical questions permitted? Example, installation download issues. I don't know if I'll be able to answer those questions. I can talk about my personal experience I had as well. Threshold said subscription aircraft. That's an instant no from me then. Now, we're going to have a lot of discussion about this today. I don't think that this subscription thing is a bad issue. Look, I paid $5, £3.50. If I like it, I can continue paying that. The final price, that's another factor. £120, I think that's too much. But to pay £3.50, fly the aircraft for an entire month, and then if I want to do so, pay another £3.50 or $5 there, I will do that. And by the way, this is my personal opinion. I have absolutely no conversation with the devs about this as well. And, you know, it's not automatically renewing, so, you know, if you forget about it, you won't get charged each month as well. So it automatically cancels. You have to go and renew again if you wish to do so. So yeah, look, for less than the price of a cup of coffee at a reputable coffee shop, you can have a reasonably well simulated 737. We'll talk about reasonably in a second in a bit more detail as well. Anyway, I digress. Who else have we got here? We've got Simbear, Listermin, Adam, I hope you're doing well. The Threshold says, what's CSS? That is Commercial Simulation Systems, developer of this aircraft. We've got Lauren here, Taylor L, Lee JC, I hope you're doing well. Craig H, 3D Fly 2062, sorry, hello, good day to you as well. SB2008 just said the subscription thing is weird. How are you doing? Very well, thank you as well. Wolfhands, I've got a CFM 56.3 titanium fan blade on my desk as a paperweight. Now that is pretty cool. Fresher said I can budget to buy an expensive add-on, especially a decent one that costs a lot, but a subscription model in the world of subscriptions is not for me. If that's your personal opinion, that's absolutely fine, of course, but again, we'll talk about this in more detail later. Louis Squirrels, hello, good day to you. Aberdeen Spotter, look good, hope you're doing well. Crazy Sarcasm, the subscription itself isn't awful on its own, but it would be disappointing if everything went that way. Kind of the last foray into this sim. Yes, I think the option of still being able to buy full price should always be there. £120 for this is a bit steep, but yeah, I think having the choice is not necessarily a bad thing. Anyway, have a little look around the external model. I think it's not bad. I think it looks reasonably nice. Short and stubby, the 500 is, but you can see here right at the nose, you know, looking up here the textures, you've got, you know, the stickers are in good detail. I think, you know, the Phoenix is probably a little bit more polished externally and the PMDG, but, you know, it's not that bad at all. The leading edge devices, I think there's not a huge amount of detail. You can sort of see there's a bit of blurring with the rivets, but overall it's very, very nice here as well. You've got this little unique tail design you have with the classics as well. But yeah, it's so short and stubby. I've flown the 700, but I think this configuration, it's 132 passengers we're going to take today, and first ever time I think flying Lufthansa. We're going to be Lufthansa 73 Charlie Charlie here on Vansim, but yeah, you know, it's not too bad. Details of the engines, my cam here is very sensitive. Yeah, it's pretty nice. The sounds you'll see, they're all right. I think they could have worked a little bit better, but you know, we'll see and see what your opinion is. But they're all right in my opinion. Right. Anyway, let's jump on into the cockpit. We've only ever flown the classic once, and that's the IXEG 737 in X-Plane, which seems to have sort of been deserted from the developers. But already you can see sort of a few weird things going on. If I zoom out, can you see the screen shaking? I've been in the CSS Discord. There's a number of issues that have been reported, and I will experience today during the stream. But the main issue is during takeoff, I get a takeoff config warning horn go off. The aircraft's properly configured, flaps, parking brake off, trim. Just get a takeoff config warning horn. But yeah, that's one of the main issues. We'll talk about other things later on. Kanopki, thank you very much for your €6 donation.
Finally, my favourite captain has been hired by Lufthansa. Love it. Veal Gluck captain.
Veal Gluck.
Greetings from Berlin.
I'd hazard a guess that means good luck in German. Thank you very much for your donation, Kanopki. Very generous of you. Hope you're doing well. Aviation Chris, good to see you. Hope you're doing well too. Listen, the instruments are a bit nervous about what's going to happen to them. Brilliant. But yeah, look, the cockpit's okay. We'll be using the tablet later. It comes with solitaire, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to play solitaire, you can do in the cruise. Maybe on the longer sector. You know, it's alright, the functionality's there, you've got SimBrief integration, Navigraph charts all available, a very basic performance calculator, but it does have these systems. But you know, the texture quality is pretty nice. You can zoom in here. You know, again, I think there's better add-ons, but I've never seen anything as bad as this, let's say, and you know, it's got a little bit of wear and tear. It's perfectly good enough. I think again there's better ones out there for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. The cabin again is modelled, not up to the detail we're used to now with certain aircraft in Microsoft Flight Sim, so you can sort of zoom in there, you can see the textures are a bit weird, but I don't like the fact that the seats sort of block the camera, so I can't really get you a decent-ish camera view for the wing views there, but you can sort of see that's what I can offer you. You know, it does have a modelled cabin, and I think certain elements of the cabin work as well. So for example, you can arm the slides and play with this too, but we'll have a look at that in a bit more detail en route anyway. Perfect. I love my Flappy Bird in the H154. Yeah, I remember the H1454 having Flappy Board. Brilliant. Is Vodka included? No. Anyway, let's get some electrical power onto this aircraft. So if we go here to ground ops, we've got SimBrief integration, but we can connect the GPU now. I don't like the fact it takes time. Just give it to me instantly. You know, why there's a timer on it, I don't know. But we'll fire up GSX, which I've updated yesterday. There was a big update for this aircraft, and we'll request boarding.
Boarding requested.
There we are. So we've got the air bridge connecting as well, and the GPU is now connected. Now when I say full GSX integration, you do still need to open the doors manually. Now we should get some electrical power onto the aeroplane. See, GPU is connected, but it's not showing connected. Do I have to turn the button? Really? So in the real aircraft, the ground power available light's illuminated even if there's no AC power on or battery on, but there we are. We've got the ground power connected. So some quirks of the classic which seem to be simulated. When you have the bleeds on, you only want to connect one pack. There isn't sufficient electrical power apparently to fail on that, and if you put both packs on with the APU bleed, it trips the AC power instantly. Unfortunately, there's a bug where if you do trip the AC power, the monitors completely die and you can't turn them back on unless you restart the flight, as I learned during my test sector. But anyway, we've got some electrical power connected to the aeroplane. The sounds, as I said, they're all right. Let's get the tug attached. They're a bit tinny, in my opinion, and the CFM's sounds are a little bit of a letdown. But let's just turn up Microsoft Flight Simulator. Anyway, we've got the battery on. We'll pop on the GPU. Electric hydraulic pumps are on. Landing gear lever is down. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's a classic. There's only 3 green lights, I think. There we are. Fault and fire test, so we'll come our way down here. Squibs.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Merci beaucoup. There we are. So APU detector not fault. It's all the same as the NG and the Max. And do a fire test. Overheat. Fire warning light. Wheel well. See what I mean by the sounds? A bit tinny, but overall it's okay. That's complete here. Over to the overhead panel. Emergency exit lights armed. So as I said, it has got
departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
SimBrief synced, and I just need to open the doors here. So door L1, cargo as well. There's little timers on them too. I found that just before pushback on my test sector, all the baggage carts were there, not ready for boarding, but GSX is doing its thing. So we'll bring up the operational flight plan. Really nice weather, live weather today here in Nantes en route as well. It's clear in Düsseldorf. We've got also nice weather, 24011. We've got CB. Oh, actually, there's a few CBs forecast, but we'll brave it. We'll take standard flight plan fuel because I want to test the fuel burn anyway. So if we go here to SimBrief, it shows you all your recently generated flight plans from SimBrief as well. But here is our flight in the 737-500s, full load of passengers, and it's going to be 6.6 tons of fuel. So if I go here to ground ops again, load, it syncs with SimBrief. I just want to round up to 6.6, and it has the correct amount of cargo and passengers to ensure the zero fuel weight matches. You can do instant load, fast, real. Again, it's not fully synced with GSX, so I just go instant start. There you go. You see the aircraft going down on its main gear, so you have the simulated load of passengers, cargo, and fuel. 6.5 tons. I think I'm going to turn up all my lights here because these are dim to start with. There's a click spot to put the yoke down, so let's turn up all the lighting. So panel lights here, there we go. So we've got the 6.6 tons or slightly less than that on board. Turn up all the lighting for the flight management computers. Oh, I forgot to update the FMS, I always forget to do that. Weather radar tilt we'll put up to +5. The lighting here for all the panels you've got to turn up as well because they're completely dark. Bright, and then it's a bit fiddly. Where were the brightness lights of the ND? I think this is it here. You turn these up. Now, not much the devs can do about this one. The classic EFIS control panel is down here on the pedestal. Now, one thing I'd like them to integrate, which is what the IXEG devs did, if you're manipulating the EFIS panel, you can't see what you're doing. Look, change the range, move this over here. I can't see. And IXEG had a lovely little pop-up come up of the ND whenever you move the EFIS panel, so you could see your EFIS panel briefly, and then it disappeared after 5 seconds. Unfortunately, just a constraint with this aircraft, you can't see your ND and manipulate the controls without putting your head down on the pedestal. It is what it is. Anyway, before I carry on with the setup, let's see who else is in chat. Longcat, hope you're doing well. Little known fact is that only the most elite crews are chosen to fly the Classic. Longcat, a current 737 Classic pilot. I will be looking out for you in chat throughout the entire stream. Longcat, one of the things that I have as a question actually is when you put the bleed on with the APU bleed, it says in the manual you can only use one pack. If you put both packs on, does it trip the generator, which it always does in this aircraft, or will it just wear things out? That's a question I have. Chip says one of those circle clock things, weird, strange, old. Yes, not many digital screens here, just the old CRT screens, I'm afraid. But anyway, if you have any questions, I'll do my best, but I'll carry on setting up the aircraft. Anyway, where did I get to? Fuel on, so seatbelt signs can come on. Working our way down here. That's all okay. This should be in the steady position. We check the flaps are up, which they are, and match the indicated position. Working our way onto the pedestal. 2000 standby. We'll do the cargo fire test. Forward aft. Unfortunately, you can't check the light as well because you've got to let go of the button. Rudder and aileron trim is 3 and 0. Gear extension door not modelled. Circuit breaker panel is in. Stall warning test then. Let's complete that up here. I do like the stall warning test sounds. They're very good. Beautiful. Mac speed warning test. They've modelled the stall warning stick shaker. That's the best on any add-on. IRS to nav. And you've got a little camera here. So you press this on. I think it's just a static image of the cabin camera. But yeah, it's a nice little touch. And then circuit breakers this side. Check the safety equipment, tech log, etc, etc. Beautiful. Wolfhands, yeah, you're only supposed to run one pack on the deck. Absolutely, I've heard that. Classic APUs can run with both packs. Yeah, okay, interesting. So basically, in this aircraft, as soon as you do that, they punish you by tripping off the AC power. And they say in the manual, you should never run both packs on the APU. APU bleed as well. Stick shaker sounds like you can feel it in first class. Well, the sounds of that were fantastic, to be fair. Anyway, we've done the pre-flight setup, so there's no ATC here, so we'll just grab the latest weather conditions from the METAR. So there we are, look, we're on the west coast of France, crossing over Paris directly. and crossing into Belgium, then onwards to Düsseldorf, and landing on runway 23 left, or depart off runway 21 here on an Angers 4 Tango. But it's the weather we're interested in, so here we go. Auto, ATIS, or METAR, variable 5 knots, cav OK, 21 degrees, 1019. That's captain's takeoff weather, that is. Right, 1019er is set. I've got the option to sync all altimeters. MFRA, I won't bother setting in this aircraft as well. So that's pretty much all done. Oxygen, we can check. I don't know if that's modelled. No. Okay, interesting radio tuning panel, different to the IXEG. So you have auto. In this one it automatically tunes nav aids, and then for an ILS you have to select manual, and you put the ILS frequency here. So we're going to leave it in auto for now for departure. I think the Angers for... oh no, in a non-15.5. Interesting, it hasn't tuned it manually. I might just leave it in manual and put 15.5 in. So there we are, that's the VOR for departure. Now let's load the FMC. So the SimBrief integration doesn't go as far into the FMC. You have to still load the flight plan completely manually, which is what I have to do with my operator anyway. So, and unfortunately it's quite a long flight plan, but there's no GPS fitted, so you have to put the position in manually. I think some of the older, or the last generation classics had GPS. So what we'll do is, Chip says need parking brakes when the stick shaker goes off, or you'll be going down the taxiway. Oh, interesting. Right, posit it. We'll put in our position, which is Nantes, Lima, Foxtrot, Romeo, Sierra. It did not take long to get 132 passengers on. No GPS, but we'll put in our stand coordinates, which is stand number 6 in Nantes. So what we'll do is go here to airport, taxi, parking stand coordinates, and Nantes, north 47094, west 001361. It's for all intents and purposes that one. There we go. It says IRS heading. Now I tried doing this on my test sector. I put in the actual heading on the IRS, but it just wouldn't accept anything but north, so we'll leave that blank. Nantes, and now again I'm afraid you're going to have to watch me. Enthralling content this is, type in the route manually, which I used to do in all my old streams. But anyway, Nantes to Düsseldorf, Echo Delta Delta Lima. We are Lufthansa, which is, I learned today, Delta Lima Hotel 73 Charlie Charlie. There we are. Departing runway 21. It's going to be the Angers 4 Tango. There we are. Route, and then on the classic FMS, it'll be at the bottom. Greg Scott, in real life, are you disappointed when you remember you can't load from SimBrief? Yeah, I go to my iPad and go, oh, I can't do that. It would be nice to have in reality, but unfortunately, I do have to type it in manually every time. Anyway, Upper Lima 976. God, I can't remember the last live stream I had to do this. Obato. It's like loading the ILS again. Oh dear. After Obato, Upper Mike 163. It's an expired database as well, so we might have a few issues on some of the routing. See how we get on. Tabov, Upper Lima 976 to Tango Sierra Uniform, and from there Upper November 858 Valek. Do remember, guys, I don't fly the classic, so you know, if I make any mistakes or do things that you wouldn't do in a classic, which I do in an NG, please feel free to point it out. Upper White 163 to Dietrich, and then it's going to be November 853 to Arky. Unlike regular flights, I'll do a bit of manual handling and play around with the automation, see how things behave on this sector. Next page, Tango 853. Crikey, so many waypoints for such a short flight. November Victor Oscar, and then Tango 857 to Bikmu. Great. Departure arrivals. ILS 23 left, and we're going to do the BIC 23 transition. We'll select that arrival, activate execute. We just need to modify the routing. See, this is what I mean. It's a bit tricky now to sort of step through the routing with the EFIS controls being down here. Again, this is nothing the dev's done. It's just how the aircraft is handled. It'd be nice to be able to see the ND. Is there a plan mode on this? See, on the NG, so the real aircraft, you can step through the routing before the IRS is aligned. Looks like you can't do it on the Classic. And the real Classic guys, or Longcat, can you see the routing prior to IRS alignment? I'd hazard a guess you can. Anyway, BICMU, that's what I want, DL426, but to put it after this BICMU. Execute. Perfect. Yeah, I think Longcat, what I've heard is that there was different variants of the Classic FMS, so you know, it is a bit different to the RxEG one I've found, but apparently there were differences as well. Yeah, Navigraph is still up. I know, Brendan, that's because I've been showing you the routing. I know I just went briefly to the other page, but we'll just use it here just to get the last bit of information and I'll clear it. Zero fuel weight is 46.5, so very heavy, right below the maximum zero fuel weight of this aircraft. Reserves for Frankfurt, 2.8 tons. Cost index, what are we, 30 today. Flight level 340. Execute. Yeah, looking good so far. We'll put the average and top of climb is pretty much identical. Put average in then, 236 at 58. Top of climb ISO is 0. Transition altitude 5001. Okay, perfect. Now, the performance calculation in this, I'm unsure about. It's different to what I've seen. There you go, Longcat. So you can't see anything on the HSI before alignment. There you go, perfect. Even in plan mode. See, in the NG you can, in plan, step through all the waypoints, which is pretty cool. So, let's have a look here. So if you go to performance, they've got this performance calculator, so you can put in information for takeoff, but it's gone for the arrival for some reason, and not Nantes. So we'll put in Lima Foxtrot Romeo Sierra. Done. Reg, it's a pre-selected one for some reason. I put the correct code in there. I have runway 21, flat 5, anti-ice off, bleeds on, MEL off. It's just 20k rating. You can't derate, but you can take an assumed temperature. The wind was variable at 5 knots, so we'll give ourselves a 5 knot tailwind to be conservative. So it'll be 030 at 5. We'll take improved climb speeds. Dry. Temperature was 15. Just double check here. So, you know, it has a tableau, which is better than nothing, but it's a bit... This would be great if this could sync somehow. 21 degrees QNH 1019. There we are. So, what do I do now? So I've got maximum takeoff weight, temperature, V speeds in. What do I do to pre-populate this? Oh, I have to put my actual takeoff weight in. Alright. So actual takeoff weight is 52.5 minus taxi. We'll just include the full weight here. There you go. So that is 20k, 54 degrees, and these are my V speeds. I think these are the V speeds based off your actual maximum takeoff weight. This is the actual takeoff weight here. So, why are you promoting Russian software? It's a 737-500. That's all it is. I'm not promoting it at all. I just want to give it a try. Rated on the 7.3. There we are. 54. I'm going to be upsetting people by flying this. All right. Right. 21 is the outside air temperature. 54 is the assumed temperature. V speeds 45, 57, 63. They're very high. Well, they are improved climb. 45, 57, 63. Perfect. V2 163 knots. Excellent. Right, 163 set. Okie dokie. FMC's all loaded, and if you press this button, or was it this one? There you go. Oh, no, I haven't. There you go. It sets your bugs for you. So you got 80 knots. You've got V1 145. You've got V2 VR 157. There we are. Yeah, Longcat. I didn't want to have to do that manually. Thankfully, they thought of using a click spot. Perfect. FMC loaded up here. Then your dampers on. Yeah. What is EFI? Never seen that on the Classic. There we are. Valve. Bright, dim, brighten, off. Pumps on. Galley power on. That's all selected here. What does this do? Drive temperature. I've never understood that either. There we go. That's set. don't have that on the NG. We're spoilt with a very reliable electrical aircraft. Right, we'll start the APU, and I think by default it puts one pack off and one in auto. Oh no, they're both off at the moment. So we'll open that. Cruising at 34,000 feet. Now, again, like with the 737-200 and the 727, you'll be really careful here to make sure you set this up properly and put that switch to flight during the before taxi flow. So 34,000 feet, 6,800 cabin altitude you have to set manually. There we are, 6,800 feet. Land out, what is it in Lufthansa? In Düsseldorf. Its elevation is, defining it here, 138 feet. Not 1,000. 140 we'll put this to. Okay, that's all set. Flight director's on. Runway QDM here is 208. 208. It's a bit. I wish the animation's a bit laggy. I found that with some of the flight control inputs and sort of, you know, the thrust levers are all right, but you'll see later. What are we flying? An Angers 4 departure. So we're. Is this our nav base? Yeah, it is. So we'll just tune 15.5 and the runway heading if we've got to come straight back in. So 208. That will do. Now I don't know if this is intentional. You see, the CRT screen is sort of a bit flickery. I don't know if that's intentional or they're trying to, you know, it's trying to simulate the sort of, you can get a bit of flickering with older monitors, can't you? Or is it a bug with my graphics card? I don't know. I think it might be intentional. Anyway, 208 all set there. Flight director's on. Auto brake to RTO. There we are. Config warning horn. That's sounding. And trim. Ah yes, what was the trim? How do you... Can you use the FMS to set your trim, or is it done via a load sheet of some description? I think this shows the trim here, doesn't it, somehow? Is it staring me in the face, guys? Oh no, I think it might be under the ground up spec. There we are. CG 23.1 stab trim 4 units. Oh. Yeah, the trim animations are poor. So trim with CG. So where do I insert my CG? Is that on one of these pages? I don't think you can do that, Sid. GNSS is required. Oh, is it? Oh. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, you're right. Goodness gracious me. Oh well. Perfect. Request omnidirectional departure, and we'll leave that in the FMS. So climb on 208, 4,500 feet, do not turn before Lulid, then direct en route. So we can use it as an overlay. We'll do an omnidirectional departure to satisfy the fact we don't have GNSS, and then we'll just fly to the first waypoint as well. There we go. Yes, FSX animations, unfortunately. So yeah, the trim wheel animations aren't great. So you can't put the CG in anywhere. It's all... Yeah, I put it in here, in index performance. No, I think that's fine. So look, we've set the correct trim according to the tablet anyway. And this is all set as well. 15.5, 15.5. Good, okie dokie. I'll turn up VHF1 as we are on VATSIM. Intercom. And we've got 122.8 on Unicom tuned. Okie dokie. APU on the bus. And we'll close the doors, and we'll just do some briefing, then we'll get out of there. There's Jean-Claude waiting for me to communicate with him. Okay, everything removed very slowly. Clunk. Right then, so, routing. We've checked the FMC, but as whoever it was in chat pointed out, this is an RNAV SID. I would not be able to fly it, so we're going to fly this as an omnidirectional departure. Which you saw on the screen. It's basically going to climb runway heading, and Lulid is straight ahead, so we're going to wait until Lulid, and actually I'm going to make the right turn downwind to Angers. We could just put it in the FMC. So that's satisfied. Taxi is pretty self-explanatory, guys. We're going to push back here. Stand 6. Short taxi. We'll face northwest, and then we'll just make the parallel taxiway. EFI switch, was that something to do with switching to different symbol generators? Ooh, possibly. Good question. Perfect. You do have RNAV, just not GPS, GNSS. Yes, you're right, Lauren. I don't have GPS, but if you have a look on this standard instrument departure, it says GNSS required, so I cannot fly this SID. RMP, yes. GNSS, no. Okay, perfect. Right, let's get this all ready for setup. AP bleed on. We've got one pack for conditioned air. I think we're all good. Okay, how the sounds guys? Seems actually quite quiet. But yeah, like I said, a massive request for the devs is to look. I can actually go in this camera view, and you can sort of just about see the ND, and you can then manipulate it and, you know, see what you need to see. But it's a bit of a pain. So I want center map, traffic on as well. Oh, can't have that option. Okay, that's great. Right, the altimeter vibrator is, yes, packs off then, anti-collision light on, parking brake is set, transponder out off, checks complete. Oh, sorry, Lauren, you're quite right. Yeah, it's a faff big person, that's the best way of describing it. Right, let's interact with GSX. I've already got my pushback clearance, I'll imagine. Tug's already attached.
Locking gear.
Oh. GSX, yes, there we are, removing all of the things. We've got another Lufthansa at Airbus pushing back. There we are. No, unfortunately, Microtonic, they don't have pop-out windows. Paul, yeah, absolutely, the CRTs would be ancient by now in real life, absolutely. You can do on ours, must be an older FMS version here. Yeah, I think it's one they used during testing. Oh my goodness me, I've got some weird GSX profile here. So E1 facing northwest, config Zulu, or config Yankee. Crikey, I'll do config Zulu. What's the worst I can do?
Release parking brakes.
Right, let's release parking brakes.
Commencing push. All engines clear, start at will.
Alright, there we go. Pushing back. 36 minutes into the stream. 35 minutes, there we go. Yeah, Lauren, I think you're right. Oh, Jet does think if you open the cockpit, it has the latch. Yeah, very good. Yes, you got the little latch here to pull to close it. Sounds quite nice when you want to. Very loud pushback. Well, imagine the stopwatch is 5,000, and I do like the MCP jingling up and down. The real aircraft does that quite a lot, actually. That's a nice touch. Right, starting engine number 2. N2. The screens do judder a little bit. I need to zoom out. Oil pressure. Just waiting for N1. Go outside as soon as I get the fuel on. God, this reminds me of Microsoft Flight Sim 2004. I am one. Everything we need to put fuel in, 25% fuel on. The wing flex is a bit exaggerated. Oh my god, what was that? Yeah, it's just sounds aren't quite there. But yeah, the wing flex is very exaggerated. Did the plane just far? I think so. He's standing dangerously close. Oh my goodness me, what is this pushback they're doing as well? Push limit. Oh, to be fair, it seems to be well modelled. That's the sound. It's
set parking brakes.
Not ideal. So it's sort of realistically modelled. You've got to hold the brakes down and then pull the parking brake.
Unlocking gear.
I like that, but I like the option within a desktop simulator just be able to easily set the parking brake as well. Right, we'll monitor the second engine start from inside, check the instrumentation. So starting engine number 1. Yeah, a bit quirky. Well, you went into an airport. I've flown this once, and I never would not have flown this first. I already have a rough idea of what I think, but I'd like to sort of show you, you know, what it's like before we get there. Plane is a dud. I think the fact that we can get it for £5 a month is a good thing. 25 fuel on. So you can see that EGT rise is way too fast. from
Tow truck disconnected.
0 to
Light has
300
been
in
removed.
1 second. So they need to sort of gradually allow that
Left
to
is
increase.
clear, right is clear.
Yeah, the sounds are... not the best. Your engine has exploded, Captain. Thank you. I think we're okay. Alright. Looks like 2 good starts anyway. Let's do the before taxi flow. So, generators on, APU off, start switches, probes, anti-ice off, air
Clear
conditioning.
to start engines.
I have GSX, packs on, bleeds on, and we need to put this to flight. Oops, still steady. What's happened to my PFD? It did it did this on my test sector, guys. If it does this, you can't get it back. Sometimes when you switch the bus from the APU to the generator, you lose your PFD. And it did this on my test sector, and I looked on Discord, and they've confirmed it's a bug. So I don't think I can get this back. It's a bug. Cycle it rapidly, and it can't. See if it comes back. Really? The APU should be running still. See, that's another bug. The APU... I don't know the classic on the NG. If you turn off the APU and you turn it back on again within the minute, it will still run. It looks like it's instantly shut down here. Use the backup ADI. No. I'll try one more time, otherwise I've got to restart the entire flight. Is it starting the APU? Standby artificial horizon is still working. Yeah, great, thanks. Quite like. Come on. I need an electrical source. You got a 6-pack, let's go. Alright. No bleeds are off. What do you mean by calibrate? I don't know what you mean. Let's see if I can get the APU on the bus. Someone said in switching generators quickly might work. Can you move to the bottom CRT? There is no bottom CRT in the Classic. Oh, you mean... Oh, they mean the PFD. Possibly? But I wouldn't know where those transfer switches are. Have you got any viruses yet? No. Yeah, the sounds are underwhelming. Come on, APU. This is taking ages. But I think this is terminal. Once this happens, there's nothing you can do. It just happens when you change AC power. But I've started the APU, there's no... Oh, there we are. Right, is that giving my PFD back? Oh! My first officer's come back! Jim has got a PFD. Am I going to have to fly on the right-hand seat for this sector? I want mine! I want the captain's side! It's just... I don't know, it could... Oh! And now I've lost AC power! Oh yeah. Great, well done. Why? APU electrical power can't power the... Oh, I fixed it though! Yay! As we were, ladies and gentlemen. Flaps to 5. Flight controls. That's what you need. Turn it off and on again. Forwards, back. Left, right. I think I've tripped the yaw damper. Rudder, right and left. Perfect. Recall, flight controls, yaw damper. That will be because I've lost AC power. Perfect. Recall. There's no DU to blank. Checks complete. Yeah, $120. Far from that price at the moment. I think 40, 50 quid. The foundations are here for sure. It's a launch version. These things will be fixed, but I'm very glad I'm paying less than a cup of coffee for 30 days, which is reasonable to be able to test this product. Right, next bug. Let's see if I've got this. I have nothing which would cause a takeoff config warning horn to go off. The parking brake is off, the trim wheels are in the green band, I have flap 5, and the speed brake is completely stowed. Let's see if I get a config warning horn. Oh my god, I don't! On my test sector I did! Great! Oh, that's good to know. Now, Cooney 80, the APU can support only 1 pack. Now, we actually have had real 737 Classic pilots here who've confirmed, yes, but it wouldn't cause the electrical power to trip off. You're right, you would only use it to control one source of AC power, but the fact it just instantly loses AC power, I don't think that would happen straight away in the real aircraft. So, you know, they're punishing us for doing it wrong. But yeah, Rodrigo, did you have this issue? I did this on my test sector, and I got a config warning horn. I don't know what I've done differently now, but it's now working fine. Oh no, I just realised I've not checked my taxi routing. I've not turned my turn off and taxi light on. But there we are. There's the Lufthansa A320 taking off ahead. We'll make a right turn here on the parallel taxiway coming up. And I better start unicomming, ladies and gentlemen. One thing I've noticed, now we're moving as well, unfortunately, the FPS is FPS heavy, guys. It's FPS heavy. So it's sort of, yeah, I don't know. What am I getting right? Outside I'm alright. But right now, according to Fly Live, I'm getting 30 FPS. In here, I'm getting 27. Which, is that optimization, I guess? I don't know, but you'll see in Düsseldorf later, it's similar. I might have to switch to the aeroplane, because the Düsseldorf scenery is fantastic with MKStudios. And I tested it in a Cessna, just to have a look around. The FPS was flawless. In this, it dropped off a bit. Yeah, I believe, yeah, $120. Now, we'll talk about the subscription process. The fact you can pick this up and try it for $5, I'm actually, I don't want to be controversial, you know, I hate controversy, but I actually like the idea of this. £3.50. Less than a cup of coffee, 30 days. It doesn't automatically renew, so once you've tried it, you can just forget it. You don't even need to remember to do it. But to charge $120, that's too much. Yeah, this is 40-50 quid. IXEG was very expensive as well. Now, someone actually asked me, is this better than the IXEG? IXEG is in dire need of a huge update. That is not at a state which is really usable at the moment. Lots of little quirks and bugs. This as well. So, yeah, another thing as well, the spool up time is far too fast. It's generally a limitation in Microsoft Flight Sim. So watch this. Idle. Stand them up. It's 40% in a second. Yeah, it would take about 6-7 seconds in reality. But there are limitations. KFC Turbo, £3.50 for a coffee. Yeah, if you're lucky. Brilliant, Bobby. I love that. Andrea, an ex-Captive Air One, told me that indeed the dual pack tripped the APU gen in a fast way, but they flow very old classics. Probably there's a difference between older and newest airframes, possibly. But yeah, I think obviously when I switched the APU there to get the PFD back, a classic pilot would have prepped that or known that and turned off one of the packs. Yeah, Jet Delta's made a really good point. IXEG, it's hard to take people boasting IXEG over seriously. I agree. No disrespect for devs, but hasn't been touched in 2 years. It's had one update or 2 updates since releasing X-Plane 12. VNAV is clunky. This has a better VNAV than the IXEG. Isaac made a very good point as well, one at which I agree as well. You know, how many of you, put your hands up in chat, how many of you have purchased an aircraft and flown it less than 3 or 4 times and paid top dollar for it, you know? I think also regarding this whole virus thing with downloading it, I was very sceptical as well. I did a bit of research. I've got Kat, one of the members of the channel who's all into IT security, and a Reddit post who sort of confirmed it's a bit of a clunky installation system. It could have been done better, but it is all sort of legitimate. It's all okay. Yeah, so, you know, we'll digress. We'll talk about that on route. Let's just get at the whole point and do the before takeoff checklist. Lufthansa 73 Charlie holding Foxtrot runway 21, departing in 2 minutes. I've got to remember my call sign, guys. Lufthansa. Right, anyway, at the whole point, got the brakes on, parking brakes set. Let's do the before takeoff checklist. So config we checked, flaps we have. Oh yeah, it's different here. There's no 5. Don't select. Oh, you don't select flaps in this FMC. Interesting. Yeah. Well, anyway, we do have 5 green lights. Stab trim we've set 4 units. Takeoff briefing. Pax auto, bleeds on, V speeds are set, 45, 57, 63 on the MCP. The departure is going to be an omnidirectional departure because we cannot fly the RP arrival as we're GNSS. We have no GNSS, so we're going to climb runway heading, make sure we at least get to the first waypoint of Lulid before we make a right turn en route to Alpha November Golf. Climb up to an altitude of 5,000 feet. NADP 1 here, so that means we'll maintain V2 plus 20 until 3,000 feet AGL, and we'll accelerate. And that's reviewed. Cabin secure. Checklist is complete. Jimmy, thank you very much for your membership and continued support. Hope you're doing well, and thanks for popping in. Right, before takeoff flow, so MCP, LNAV. Actually, no, we're going to do heading omnidirectional now. Can you not deselect LNAV? Alright, you should be able to deselect LNAV. I can't. I have to go heading select then. Heading set and order throttle. So MCP set, transponder is here, TARA, strobe lights on, and landing lights on. Perfect. Weather radar down here for the EFIS. Weather tilt is on. Weather turbulence +5. Alright, parking brake off. He says. There we are, we're rolling. Lufthansa 73 Charlie Charlie taking off runway 21. Hot garbage or what? No. I wouldn't call it hot. I wouldn't say it's complete garbage. There's worse add-ons out there, but it needs a lot of work. Let's see how it is on takeoff. We're climbing runway heading 5,000 feet. After 3,000 feet, we'll make a right turn, or just make sure we're past, as I said, Lulin. But the FPS, it needs better optimization. Fine outside here, but it's a little bit stuttery in here. Rosie, yeah. I see potential. I do as well, but it's far from, let's say, study level. Lukewarm garbage. I'd call it lukewarm okay. Alright. You guys crack me up. Right, Toga's in chat. Let's go to Düsseldorf. Time is down here. Oh, is it running? Run. There we are. Yeah, I've noticed whilst taxiing, if you go full left, it grinds to a halt. Oh, it loses all inertia. Right, 40%, which is instant. Yep, stabilised. Toga set takeoff thrust. Needs more buzz from that CFM. Airspeed alive. 80 knots, release forward pressure. Airflow noise is good. Let's move my mouse here. Centre line. V1. Rotate. It's definitely a deadband. Look, I've got increased back pressure. That's really nice. Positive climb. Gear up. There we go. So I have to say, the rotation, you know, there's definitely a requirement to increase back pressure. And the rotation, heading select, and the flight director's commanding a sensible attitude. So things like this are very nice. Takeoff and the rotation is very good. So it's NADP1, so we're going to maintain. I'm not sure what speed the flight director's commanding. 163, 183. It's about V2 plus 25. Could be a classic thing, I don't know. So we've got climb thrust. Alright, let's make that right turn. So we're going to bug the heading round. Something like that. Yeah, the flight director's commanding a very high speed. I'd expect it to be around V2 plus 20. Again, it could be a classic thing. Well, let's bug the upspeed, or 220, because I can't actually see what the upspeed is. So the flight director's lowering now to accelerate the aircraft. That's good. We can already go to flat 1. I like the trim noises. And flaps up. Approaching 1 to go. So let's watch the outer choir, make sure it levels off, and the flight director commands level off. The order throttle is in arm. This could be a classic thing, actually. So if it goes outer choir, 5,000 feet, outer choir. We're going to go straight past 5,000 feet, are we? Why has it not gone outer choir, out hold, guys? This surely is a bug. Surely! It goes out of go out hold. Let me just try a different pitch mode. Level change. MCP speeds. Alright. Now I've got out acquire. Surely in Toga it's gotta go out acquire out hold. In fact, that's horrific if it's doing that. I've had to go level change for it to command the level off. I think this is a flight level as well, set standards. Alright, well, I went screen past 5,000 feet. Right, standard set. So the auto throttle stayed in arm as well. Doesn't N1 automatically engage in the classic? Gear off I will do. It's no priority to get the gear off. Let's just fly the aeroplane first. Level off at flight level 70. Still an out acquire. It's like out acquire but commanding about 300 feet per minute. It's going to be another 30 seconds till we get there. Yeah. It needs a lot of work. Come on! I'm just gonna go above the flight rate to get out hold. Come on, there we go. Out to hold now. You're at your side level. There we are, flight level 70. Beautiful. Alright, we're in trim. Not quite. Okay. Now we're in trim. Command. Alright, after takeoff checklist. We'll just stay on this heading at 70. So that can come off, that can come off. Start switches off. Retracts. Taxi light. Air conditioning and pressurization. Diff pressure's 3.0. Slow climb. We've got pressure. Leave this in normal. Clunky air conditioning system. Air conditioning and pressurization set. No trim air. Standard set passing. Well, no, we're not passing anything. 7-0. Check's complete. So M1 isn't automatic. Interesting, Longcat. So does that stay in the classic? Does it stay in arm and you have to manually reduce thrust or select speed on the MCP? That's really interesting. So these are the sort of differences that I'm not used to, having only ever flown the NG Max. So 250 knots. We've flown the omnidirectional departure, but we'll imagine ATC has now gone, yeah, Lufthansa 73 Charlie route direct to Angers. Perfect, Angers. So we'll go to legs page. Execute, LNAV available. LNAV. And I've noticed the flight director, there's a lot of add-ons that do this. Flight director goes massively off the PFD in reality. Again, correct me if I'm wrong with the classic. The aircraft never deviates that far from the flight director, or certainly not outside this tiny little box. So you can see it's going well outside the box. Wouldn't ever deviate as far as that. You select M1 to achieve climb thrust. So I've been spoilt in the NG Max. But yeah, look, you can sort of see, look, it's overshot slightly, but it will get me there. Right, let's carry on climbing. Cruising at 340. I think you can actually hold this down to set it quickly. Quick being not the optimum word. Right, VNAV. So M1 VNAV speeds. So why has LNAV got a green box around it as well? So it should start commanding a climb. Okay, there we go. I'd say that, you know, the quality of the PFD and the indications are very good. But glad I paid £3.50 for a month. There we are. I've increased the range on the ND. Oh, the performance though. It's very FPS heavy, guys. Very FPS heavy. Douglas, you would only have a green on the FSC. You cannot feed the amber. Oh, none of that nonsense in the 7.3. Great climb performance. But to be fair, I think that's what you'd expect. You know, 45 tons, 20,000 pounds of thrusts. I should think 3,500 feet per minute is pretty realistic. Yeah, the PFD flickering I do like. I thought it was an issue or a bug, but this is actually quite representative of the CRT. Right, so it's going to hopefully lower the nose slightly to fly the Econ climb speed of 269 knots. There we are, so that's being commanded. It's lowering the nose. That's all as expected. Nice tailwind coming up as well. So passing 110 for 340 to the pre-cruise checks. Fuel for pumps, lights off. APU's off, pressurization 4.5. The rest is all set. Lights up. seatbelts in auto, recall. There we are. Checklist complete. Well, it might be cheaper to get integrated out to be able to pay for this. True. Now, the green box around the FMAs, is that normal as well? Again, could be a difference between the Classic, not the NG and Max, that only illuminates around the recently engaged or selected mode. I had to say G, or is it G or G? I'm not sure, Susa. How did the takeoff feel? From here, it looked a bit mushy. It was actually alright. You know, it maintained centre line within the confines of Microsoft Flight Simulator, the inputs as well. And I have to say the rotation was good. I had to increase back pressure once it unstuck. I had to release a little bit of back pressure or adjust it to maintain that target rotation rate. And then there was long cat. Is there deadband in the Classic? I had to certainly increase back pressure at around 10-11 degrees to get airborne. Mauritius vertical flight director bar is oddly oscillating during commanded pitch changes. Let's have a look here. So if we go VS, just set 850 feet per minute. Let's try and, yeah, it's chasing a little bit the pitch. So they just need to make the autopilot follow that flight director a little bit more religiously. Ah, so I think this is something you ought to be careful of in the Classic. So if I go VS, does it Longcat? Does it stay in M1? Do I actually have to select speed manually? See, in the NG and Max, when you select vertical speed, MCP speed automatically engages, and the autothrottle maintains the speed. That's a real gotcha in the Classic. Or is it a bug? This is what I need to make sure I'm saying correctly, guys. I'm so glad Longcat is here. If I go VS, do I have to manually select speed? VNav. So it manually goes M1 for VNav. Yeah, it is also. Oh yeah, I can see it pitching up. Well observed.
Minimums. Approaching minimums.
Anyway, I've got lots of pings going off here. Jessica Hunt, thank you for your continued support. 34 months as a member. Hope you're doing very well, madam. Thank you very much for popping in. James French, also, well, no, just 1 month later. 35 months. 735 is a baby. It's only a foot longer than the 732. Even with its down-rated CFMs, it's all got silly pot performance. Well, they've really, I think the engine performance is well modelled here. You know, it's just like an MTNG, but very good. Okay, Longcat, that's good to know. So that is a bug, guys. So you notice here, we're climbing. If you go VS, look, your pitch FMA, VS change, but M1 stays engaged. We've got a Classic pilot saying, like the NG, that should now switch to MCP speed. Feel free to let the Discord CSS guys know, because I would like, don't have the time to provide dedicated support to developers now, especially with baby. But, you know, if you guys quote what I'm saying or timestamp, you know, I'm happy to help developers fine-tune their add-ons. When it comes to 7.3s, that is. But yeah, quirky and buggy, but it's usable. It's usable. And you know me, I'm usually probably a little fairer than probably some other commenters, but it's usable. But the wing flex, I'm not so sure about. Making little pitch inputs. Yeah, it's a bit wiggly. Spurious, what's the implication of this? Could stay in VS and the speed decays or increases. So if I go VS, look, the autothrottle's just commanding M1 still. So obviously if I, you know, lower the nose using VS, the autothrottle isn't reducing thrust to maintain speed, it's just left it in climb thrust, which is what it does in VNav and level change. So it should automatically change to MCP speed. This 7.8 wing flex, I know. Yeah, it's a really short wing on this. It's not like a massive carbon fibre wing. It's just way too much wing flex for the Classic. Perfect. Code, have you on the EFB Google Ads in games? Yeah, you've got the ability to play solitaire, haven't you? When it comes up with Google Ads. Oh dear. Yes, I think it's a web browser that opens. Interesting decision. Anyway, look, we're on our way. We'll do some fuel checks en route. Live time, live weather. On board to Düsseldorf in Germany. Oh, it's triggering me. Are these green FMAs? Is there still meant to be a green box around the FMAs? Is it called wing lex or wing flapping? Daniel, is it me or the nose model looks kind of odd? I think the shortness of the aircraft isn't helping. You guys have a better eye. I mean, it hasn't struck to me as being looking weird. This is what the 500 looks really fat and stubby. And 0321 Sean, so from what I've read, it's the same price as the Hot Start Challenger. Does it have the same system depth as the Hot Start? Absolutely not. No. No, the $120 price tag is ludicrous, and I have seen that the devs have stated that this will include the ability to get all future variants that they're planning to release, but still, they need to price this at £40–50. And even if this was priced, you know, taking the subscription process out here, which is something we'll discuss obviously and have discussed, £40–50. If I bought this today for £40–50 and was reviewing it, I'd say it's not bad. It's 5–6 out of 10 aircraft. It needs a lot of work. It's something such a nice, but it's certainly not up to the level of PMDG, Zebo, Phoenix, the sort of, you know, leaders, let's say, of quality in that genre. But Hot Start Challenger on a completely different league. Daniel, if they cannot deliver the other variants, it's going to be a lot of mad individuals. So yeah, I mean, there's no guarantee that they can do that, but I think you need your head screwing on if you're happy to pay $120 for this. Yes, Bloodline. Yeah, there's no guarantee with that, absolutely. Longcat, yeah, the $5 thing means you can use it for 2 years before you make up the cost of buying. And yeah, and of course that means 2 years of continuous use. You know, you might pay your $5, use it for a week and go, it's not for me. Maybe there's some significant updates that come out in 6 months. You know, you've bored flying your NG or bored flying the 75. Oh, I might try the aircraft. You pay £5. You still only another $5. You only spend $10. So you know, the subscription thing, I think, is actually, I think it's a bad idea. I think if they actually just, if they offered the price though, but halve it, at least halve it, $60. I think $60 would be on the upper end still. 40–50 quid this is. Sort of what Just Flight charge for their 146, but they are far more polished than this. Anyway, airborne for 15 minutes, just passing flight level 280, inbound to Obato. We'll put the nav box into auto, which is very unique. And I think this just tunes nav aids as required. Obviously there's no GPS here, but FMC updated is still done automatically via DME, IRS and VOR stations. That's a good point, 03200. That is unless they decide to raise the monthly price in 2 years due to inflation. Absolutely, as lots of companies do. But at any point you do cancel. And again, I've not been paid off to say this. It's just my opinion. Another thing which I did like was I subscribed. It doesn't automatically renew. So you know, we're all leading busy lives. We probably all have subscriptions that we don't necessarily use still, and we still pay for. It's how companies make a lot of money. So, you know, it doesn't automatically renew. So if you forget about flying it, you know, it just cancels automatically, which is okay. I think Isaac's made a good point. I think you should opt in to be able to have your subscription automatically renewed. Andy, for me, if the subscription idea spreads through the hobby, I'll probably not bother with new stuff, to be honest, and keep using what I have until it becomes obsolete. Yeah, there's lots of differing opinions on this. Lots of differing opinions, you know. Yeah, I think I'm probably more geared towards the sort of... I'm not as opposed to the idea as I was to start with. AV Charlie, hello mate, just wondering if you had any problems installing the aircraft. Yeah, so when it was released, the servers were very busy and overloaded according to the can see, look, it's overshooting turns slightly. Reminds me of the MD-11 when that came out, although that was bad. Yeah, so when the aircraft was released, I downloaded the... I couldn't download the aircraft, I downloaded the CSS software and it just wouldn't work anything. Next day it worked fine, no issues. Keeping doing so, it's not a recurring bill. No, it's not. You have to manually pay every 30 days. It's not automatically recurring. Chips, I'd rather own the software. I think that's an absolute fair content. I think only having subscription-based is wrong. The system's great, but you've got to have the ability to pay final price. I think that's fair. But don't inflate the price. That, you know, £120 is way too much for this add-on. Way too much. I mean, it's a joke, really. But to have the subscription model, also the ability to still play the original full price, but not inflated as well. Yeah, Daniel Keane agreed. Josh X, yeah, I mean that's a point as well. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys? I guess you don't have as larger libraries of aircraft as some sort of. You know, I've got obviously lots of aircraft, and I'm very lucky to work with a lot of developers who share them. I also spend a lot of money on purchasing aircraft as well. But yeah, having the subscription system for some people would be beneficial. Yeah, when I first heard of it, I was like, oh no, that's not great. But yeah. So aircraft performance here. Another thing that happened. We're approaching the cruise. Our econ climb speed is .729. It hasn't converted to Mach, so it should be maintaining 266 knots, which it still is until 0.729. At that point, it should then pitch to maintain 0.729. It's now pitching for Mach decimal 744. So it hasn't converted to Mach. This means our Mach number is just going to keep increasing. Another thing that happens when we reach our cruise level shortly is the minimum manoeuvre margin seems very high. So we're cruising at what speed? Mach decimal 76. You'll see it's actually quite close to the manoeuvre margin. 729 would be in the amber, yeah, it would be. But why is it commanding a speed that puts you in the amber anyway? It shouldn't command such a low target speed, surely, in the climb, especially at 34,000 feet. Isaac Aviation Clips, yeah, I had that as well, and I instantly deleted the software when I downloaded it. Said there was a virus. I was like, "What's this?" A lot of people were talking about it on Reddit, but they've had I've had members who work in IT security. There's also some Reddit posts about it as well that sort of discuss there is nothing of concern that the installation system's a bit. What was the wording they used on Reddit of this guy, the IT security expert? He said it's a bit messy. You know, it's not very professionally executed. They could have done it a bit better, but there isn't anything there which would suggest it's going to infect your PC. And that's when I actually went, alright, I'll get it then, because I was a bit suspicious, of course. It has transferred to Mach, but it's not pitching up for it. Oh, interesting. Anyway. VNAV path, FMC speed, it's engaged in quite early. But look at this. It's putting me in the manoeuvre margin. What speed is it commanding here? 766? Yeesh. You see, it's ballooned slightly. The real aircraft would never go above the altitude like this. So it's commanding 766, which is right on top of the manoeuvre margin. That manoeuvre margin should be down here somewhere. That's in reality that's sketchy, by the way. It's like just above your manoeuvre margin. Anyway, there we are. Yeah, 737 cargo guy. Thanks for confirming that. The green box over the FMA should disappear after a few seconds. So that is the same as the NG. So yeah, when you select a mode, there's a green box around it to show, yep, this mode is recently selected. But it seems to be permanently on. Anyway, look, we're at flight level 340, in between Obato and Takeoff. We'll do a fuel check at Takeoff and time check, see how we are, and then we'll continue eastbound to Düsseldorf. There we are, the external model in all of its glory. Yeah, it's not a bad external model. Just turn the sim down, guys. There we go. The max speed is not working. You must increase speed. Yeah, so 7.6. Is it safe? Is it just the manoeuvre margin is incorrectly modelled? I'd expect it to be down here. Now, I'm going quite fast. 7.6, which shouldn't be anywhere. I'd say it's more the manoeuvre margin is too high as opposed to we're going too slow. But I can increase. I don't like being close to that. So the only way of doing this would be to go to... Can you change it in the FMC? Yes, I can. 7.9. So there we are. Adding thruster. Command 7.9. Yeah, I mean 7.9 is fast. Well, it's all broken. What's MMO? Surely there should be a red tape up here for MMO. Interesting. Yeah, it's this is why they can't charge 120 quid for this. You'd expect perfection. There's so much wrong with it. Flydeck, try to compare with outside of simulator information on Navigraph map or little nav map. What are you asking for? Just seeing if it matches. We'll see when we get to tab off. It looks all okay to me. Approaching tab off. Tab off. I think that's what you're asking. Oop, my weather radar's still tilted into outer space. Let's lower that to -1. There we are. So we're doing decimal 7.9 now. Where's the MMO limit? Yeah, there's a barber's pole. Yeah, look at it. It's up here. The barber's pole is up here. Mach 1 maybe? That should be here. That barber's pole should be just about 10 knots above my current indicated airspeed, I'm sure. And a little red tape here. Positive glycoma saved $120. Took the family to a nice dinner and we had a blast. Very good. 737 conk. Yes. Anyway, I digress. So I've got this. Oh, the FPS in this thing needs better optimization for sure. So we've got what? So these are automatically tuning the nav aids. It's like a 777 or an Airbus. 108. Oh, look at it, just changed. 1565, 1310. Well, I mean, we'll leave it on. Stop getting me to go back 1. Daniel Keane, no, there should be a red tape there. I mean, I'm doing decimal 7.9. This is fast for a stubby 7.3. What is MMO for the classic? Does anyone want to look that up? 737, 400, 500. It'll have the same MMO. 0.82 in the NG and max. It could not be Mach 7.9 with M1 so low. Ah, well spotted. That's a point. We're at 34,000 feet. The cruise page is showing no optimum or maximum. I'm sure it should. And we're only doing 76% M1. I'd hazard a guess you are quite right, Flight Deck Magazine. I'd expect a higher M1 at this gross weight as well. It is 0.82. So look, if I bug 82 and execute it, watch the target speed. That should be, yeah, that barber's pole should be on that orange line. That's exactly where that barber's pole should be. So that's not modelled correctly. There's no barber's pole on the PFD. There should be a black and red tape here. It's got plenty wrong with this, guys. Plenty wrong. I've just pressed Econ and that's gone back to 766. You should have to execute that change as well. And we've just passed tab off. But I'm just going to do 777. Yeah. MMO is 0.82. Wonderful. Right. So overhead tab off. Sequence the waypoint a bit early, but it is there. Let's just do a quick fuel and time check. So flight plans, view SimBrief, tab off. So 25 minutes with 27 minutes airborne. That makes sense. We should have 4.4 tons of fuel. We've got 4.8. So 400 kilos saved seems a lot more. Probably should be a little bit closer. So we'll keep an eye on that. Fuel used. I think that's a page in the FMC, isn't it? In the classic. I know it is. I remember it from the IXCG, but I cannot remember how to get there. Anyway, yeah, fuel burn maybe a little less than what we're expecting. Hasse Basso, yeah. Oh, I said, well, your comment's gone, but I agree with you. I don't know where your comment went. Yeah, Michael, I don't understand how these simple mistakes like boxes are allowed to happen, especially at this price point. It's not that information is buried away. It's sad that this is beginning the standard. Yeah. If they came out with this at 40, 50 quid, I'd be a lot more positive about that pricing standpoint. Yeah, I mean, the aircraft won't have changed, but, you know, to say... what does their website say? Let's have a look. The team considers extensive experience in working with various aircraft and the weather engine. Some members have hands-on involvement producing real flight simulators. I'm excited to bring that unique expertise to flight simulator space. With a team of pilots, programmers and designers poised to deliver a completely new level of realism in your flying experience. They've got to make a slightly better product at launch. I know add-ons have quirks and every aircraft has bugs. PMDG, when that was released, had loads of issues. Couldn't even maintain altitude. You know, so... It need less issues. Let's hope the first major update fixes a lot of the issues we're experiencing today. I think it's just pictures here, but yeah, you know, it's not rubbish. It's not. There are some real pants add-ons. Rotate. I really love Rotate's products. When they released the MD-11, that was in a far worse state than this aircraft is. That was in an awful state. It's now an excellent add-on. Albeit it's really difficult to land in the pictures a bit, I think, off in the flare, but I digress. I think this is actually better out of the box than that, but it's not the best start. I think Rosie just said it there. It does feel like it's a good start, but really not ready for release. Reminds me a lot of alpha previews. Yes. Yeah, the foundations here, they can really build on this, but there's lots wrong with it. There's lots wrong with it. Yeah, 120 euros, absolutely. Longcat pricing 30 quid and saying it's early access, please understand, would generate much better feeling in the community. Correct. I don't know what they've actually said, release, and they've said this is the next big thing on their website, would certainly suggest that. It ain't quite ready. But, yeah, don't pay 120, guys. Does the IXCG come with a 400 or just the 300? It's only the 300. There is Solitaire, yes, but it links online somewhere. There you go. Google Solitaire. Ah! I'm being hacked. There we are. Oh, gosh. Oh, Microsoft. No, Microsoft XP vibes. I remember completing this in no time. No, I'm not gonna play Solitaire. Yeah, it does have that. Hello, Anthony. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Right, anyway, I was long till top of the set. Like, you can see the performance, like FPS, it's really eating into my system. Do you have a top of descent point? 203 miles, 1550. So we've got about just under 30 minutes. You can brick the tablet if you click ads at the appear in the games. Well, we're definitely not going to play anymore then. Could you change the weather on the approach to test the accuracy of the weather radar? No, I generally don't. I always fly live weather and use the exact conditions, but I don't think many aircraft have a decent weather radar simulation anyway. Not that we're going to experience any weather today either, so I can't really check it. Is the top of descent calculation accurate? Let's have a look. What are we at? 34,000 feet, so descent. 200 miles. How many miles to run? 318. Yeah, it looks good to me. 110 miles at this height. It looks ballpark. And I have to say, the descent that I had yesterday, there were some glaring issues, but overall the path provided a reasonable descent to get to the restrictions, held the speed reasonably well. There's worse VNAVs out there, but there were issues, which we'll no doubt see today. mean, the classic VNAV is pretty awful in real life, so they don't have to do a great job with that. Yeah, I've learnt that with the IXEG. And another thing as well, I think Longcat, we discussed this with one of the IXEG streams. Must remind anyone in chat, Longcat is a current 737 Classic operator. I think you use VS, don't you, for your MPAs? So, you know, you're flying VS, so don't expect VNAV to work on an approach in this. As per the real aircraft, it would be a bit quirky. I've also noticed my engine number 1 is running hotter than the right one. Is it older? Can sometimes get that in real life. Fuel burn seems to be about the same though. Oh, there's my fuel used. I've seen it. Beautiful. Right. We'll start looking at the setup here. Düsseldorf, are they using 2.6 left in real life? I believe so. I think you can arm the slides on this. Yeah, I like this. Yes, let's put the girt bar in. So you put that across. It's like when I'm positioning an aircraft. There you go, girt bar's in. That's quite cool. So they've modelled that. We'll check the toilet soon. Yeah, they've got the lights here. Where, you know, they thought about this. Music. So I press the captain call. Does that cool in here? No. That light would look. That would light up the call light. There we go. Oh yeah, I just can't get a better window view. These textures are a bit explainy. But it does have a modelled cabin. Cannot seem to fill the middle tank. That's also a bug. Oh, is this? Longcat, I usually like level change and add manual thrust to adjust the rate of descent, but a lot of guys like VS too. So, interesting. Yeah, level change, changing thrust we generally don't do. But yeah, VNAV in the NG and Max is pretty good. Oh my goodness, it has a toilet. Ooh. Oh. Wait. I've not even tested this, guys. Guys, it's worth it. It's worth the $420 price tag. You get a flushing toilet. Oh dear, that works. What else is there? What else? You get a flushing toilet though. That's all that matters. That's all you guys ever asked for. God, I can arm all the doors, so I'll just keep the L1 door arm. There we are. Sold. Worth it now. Does the baby changing shelf work? Oh dear. Longcat the NG. Oh, you got NG. Oh, I didn't realise you had NGs as well. Oh, awesome. Oh, I think I might know who you work for, but I won't say. Awesome. Hi, Kieran. Hope you're doing well. Kieran! Hey, Sam. Hope you're doing well. Kieran's an ex-colleague of mine. Very well, buddy. I could just see you in chat. I hope you're doing just fine. Thanks for popping in. I hope you're doing well. We flew together quite a few times. About 3 or 4 years ago now, wasn't it? Slight difference in oil quantity. Yeah, 9788. It's okay. Diabetic, let's say. They model all this stuff in the back and got some of the fundamentals wrong. Funny as hell, why? Yeah. Listen, the toilets. Toilet modelling is the absolute requirement of a classically good add-on. Doubt the system dev is going to be doing animation modelling work. Yeah, so things like the trim animations are really chunky. The thrust levers are okay, but the flight controls are a bit, juttery. But sat here in the cruise, apart from the green box permanently over the FMA and the fact the minimum manoeuvre margin is way too high, yeah, everything else is doing okay. It's sat in the cruise. Yeah, the engine performance might need some adjusting, but I'm going to get you to your destination. There are some add-ons I'd struggle with. Daniel, trim audio wouldn't stop playing over and over for the first flight. That's annoying. Anyway, we just oh crikey, we just passed over Paris. We didn't even look out the window, guys. Oh, I'm so sorry. Nice day over there as well. There was a lot of rioting there last weekend, I think. There we go. No ATC at the moment. It's very quiet on VATSIM actually this evening. Loads of people online, but I just don't think there's many centres. Do we have Munich later? We're a bit too far out to pick up any weather or anything. Great waypoint coming up. What do we got? Is it Ranux? Decrease? Medox? Don't know. Decrease, maybe. Gear said, it's been so long since I've seen a stream on the gaming channel. I don't even remember its name anymore. What's it called? Airline Pilot Plays. Yes, ever since we had the baby 2 months ago now, life has completely changed. It has completely changed. It's very different, but I wouldn't change it back for the world. But you have very little time left. When I'll stream on that channel again, I do not know. I'm very fortunate that Joe gives me all the time I need to do the odd stream here and there. I have a baby now. Yeah, I have a daughter, Key. 2 months old. 2 months old. Yeah, little baby girl. Crazy. Right. So when is this descent? 134 miles. Yeah. When we get 100 miles, we'll hand control over to Jim, and then we'll start setting up. Kind of love the Microsoft Flight Simulator wind sound effects. Wish they would get rid of that. I wonder when Lufthansa got rid of their 500s. Some time ago, I should think. Cheers, Daniel Aviation, Chris. Very kind. There we go. It's Captain Ahoy said, is this one at least better than the 737 Piloting Command by Wilco for FSX? Keep up the great work. I actually had that aircraft years ago. In fact, I was looking at my SIM Market account. It was one of the first purchases, like in 2005, 6. I can't remember how good or bad this was. I'd say this is probably slightly better. I don't know. Oh wow, it was as late as 2011, Domino Cena. Wow. Yeah, BIA had their 7.3 Classics until 2015. I remember seeing them in a few destinations we flew into. Wow. I think there's barely a handful still operating passenger variants around the world. I think most of them actually are included with the add-on, to be fair. Chris Captain Ahoy, yeah, you got it as well. First add-on ever purchased ever. It went all downhill from there. Wow. Yeah, I had that. I had the when Captain Sim was actually a slightly more reputable developer. I had the was it 7.5? It's actually quite good. Yeah, Kieran, true fit. It's a bug. Oh, I must mention, Kieran, you flew the Classic, didn't you? Yeah, there's loads of bugs in this. Loads of bugs. We're doing Mach decimal 7.7. I'm only slightly above the minimum manoeuvre margin, apparently. MMO is Mach 1.2. And I'm only doing 74% M1. But we are pressurised and breathing normally. Yeah. Oh look, there's a bit of weather there. Interesting. So how is it modelling the weather? Is there actually weather there? What is that? Ooh, interesting. Interesting. There is actually weather off to the east. It's just painting there. Just increase the range if I can. 320 miles. You know what? How accurate? That could actually be a reasonably well-modelled weather radar here. This is ground clutter, so this is... It's not as uniform of a line like that. It's just limitations in the sim, but there is weather off in that direction. There is certainly something painting within sort of 140 miles. Interesting. Interesting. Great. Oh yes, 85 knot tailwind was spotted. Ah, well, does this actually... Oops. Denied. No, I need to lock. Is that modelled? You'd still be able to open it, of course. Oh, that's quite cool. The door's modelled and the door lock system as well. Pretty cool. There's a delay, but that's probably quite realistic, to be fair. Gee, what was the oldest aircraft that you've flown in as a passenger or crew member? I've flown an NG built in the late 90s. That was the oldest NG I've ever flown. As a passenger, as a kid, I've flown in an MD-11. I've flown, oh no, TriStar. I remember as a kid going on a TriStar across the Atlantic. Yeah, but you know how old I was. I don't know. I was only a wee little boy. Hasso, remember the PMDG 737-600 coming out for 2002? Makes me feel old. Yeah, I had it for 2004, and then I remember someone at school. I don't know. I was in year 4. Gave up flight simming. No, not year 4. Sorry, year 10. Year 9 or year 10. Gave up flight simming, and he sold me like all of his aircraft, all on CD, obviously back then, for like 20 quid. Now he had like PMDG jumbo jet. Captain Sim, all the VFR scenery for the UK. I was like, oh yeah, that's great. Hello, Vlad. Where are you rated on another type besides 7.3? No, I'm only 737 rated. All I know. Michael Jennings, when did you know you wanted to be a pilot? From a very, very young age. Sebastian, that classmate is the reason why we're stuck with you. I'm afraid so. But I remember, yeah. You gave me all of them. Oh, it must have been like £200 worth of add-ons, but 20 quid. I was only about 14, 15 years old. Oh, I was so excited. I remember getting them all home, and I was running on like a really old PC, barely run anything. You know, it's where you launched a flight and it would take 10 minutes to start. Yeah, the UK 2000 VFR sceneries. That's classic flight simulation. I remember that. I did his PPL on the 737. Brilliant. Right, let's start setting up for Düsseldorf. So this is probably another RMP star. Oh no, that's actually one I can fly. However, I think the transition we're going to fly. Let's have a look at the RNAV transition. Big moo. Does this require GNSS? No. So we can fly this beautifully in our airplane. So we're going to come in via Big Moo flight level 150 above. And again, this is the limitation within desktop simulators, and unfortunately having a, just turn the music off, having an EFIS panel located on the pedestal, it's really hard. Now I need to have a click spot to I can't actually physically get the charts, the ND and the EFIS panel in view. So this is, you know, even if I get rid of the charts for you guys, I can't step through this. I've got to go to plan. I can sort of step through here, but I can't really brief the chart at the same time. Anyway, look, there's the restriction at no, don't have the restriction in there. So Big Moo 150 above, that's not coded, but we can put that in. So we'll put Big Moo 150 below. So that's going to generate a new top of descent point. The transition level is probably defaulted, hasn't it, to where do you put the transition level in the classic, guys? It's not the same. Forecast page? Yeah, 18,000. It won't be that. I'll put in. Let's have a look at a SID. It's 5. I'll put flight level 60. Transition level varies based off what the actual pressure is. So we'll put 6,000. So that way it will now code correctly 150 Big Moo. We're then going to go to Delta Lima 426, which is here. Delta Lima 426, max speed 220 knots. That is coded. Then Delta Lima 428, Delta Lima 429. Now, just like with the NGM Max, you can select fixed rings based off the runway. So runway 23 left, put in a 10 and 4 mile ring. 3 times height for top of descent. Felipe Serpentini, thanks buddy. He says the guy who likes to marry during your live is back. Oh my goodness! Flashback. I do remember this. Yes. Didn't you get married during a live stream or something? Excellent, excellent. You're doing well. I vaguely remember that. Thanks, buddy. Good. Excellent chat. Please ask questions about the 737 Classic. You've got Kieran Truefit and Longcat, both are classic operators on the 737. Far better place to answer about any questions you have. Cheers, Philippe. That's very kind. Right, 3 times our height. What are we? 34,000 feet. 35. What are we doing? A gentle turn. I hope we're all navigating fine. 105, 102 miles, roughly where top of descent will be. Now, we're going to plan for a shortcut here, like we would in real life. So again, step through these waypoints. God, the FPS on this add-on is not great, guys. So Delta Lima 426, it's around a 12-mile final. I'm going to self-position on base there. I'm not going to go all the way out down here, unless it was really busy. So we can tell the FMC, look, I don't want to be at 14,300 feet at Delta Lima 426. I want to be around, what, I don't know, let's say 5,000 feet, end of base leg, before we turn. So what I'll do, Delta Lima 426 is put 5,000 feet. There you go. Execute. And that's going to generate a new top of descent point closer to us, which it has. There you go. Look, you see it moved back to Ibiza. So that's promising. It's doing things to adjust the top of descent point to allow it to capture on profile. Why it's just now drawn a right and a magenta line, I don't know. It has now disappeared. And I just want to make sure we're navigating. Where are we going? It's doing lots of funny turns. Yeah, you can see, look, it's sort of overshooting points. So there's Decrease. To be fair, there's a very strong wind it's having to contend with. 90 knot crosswind. But look at it. It's not. Should never deviate from the flight director like that. It's fixing itself out. I think it just, they haven't anticipated or allowed for wind. We've got obviously a very strong crosswind that's pushed us right of our track, so the aircraft's just correcting onto it. Anyway, look, we're going to do this arrival. We've told it to be much lower at Delta Lima 426, 5,000 feet, and then just level, obviously, but we're not going to fly all the way out there. We're going to self-position to Delta Lima 455 or extend the centre line. Onto ILS 23 left. We're going to go here to approach ILS 23 left. Weather, by the way, definitely 23 with that wind, 3107, Cav OK 90 degrees off. The weather's perfect. Right, 1099, so we're going to set these manually, which you have to. So we press manual, 1099, manual, 1099. Guys, slow. There we are. Final approach course 230. And 230. Still trying to make adjustments to that wind. Cat 1 minimums 338. So we'll just set the bug here to 338. Ah. Yeah, it's just a bit stuttery. Everything just moves in a stuttered fashion. The rotation of the knob is not stuttery, but the... There you go, that's about 338. RVR needed 550 metres, which is well in excess of today being Cav OK. No terrain issues, the highest to the east, 2,900 feet. What's it doing now? Oh, we just passed top of descent, ladies and gentlemen, so it's now commanding a speed which is very low. Let's go down to... Oh yeah, we want to try VNAV, don't we? So it's in path, so it's going to, I think, straight away dive for that. Let's just keep on monitoring that. Let's just set... Oh, there's no... What's the restriction on this arrival? 150, let's just set 150. So right now in descent, it's commanding Mach 0.72 until 260 knots. So it's gone to the Mach 0.72, that's fine. But it's put me well in the manoeuvre margin, which is not accurate. And we're in a right turn to Ibiza. So hopefully it will convert to maintain 260 knots. Still maintaining Mach number at the moment. Okay. Just want to make sure. So it looks like that's got to 260, so hopefully it will no longer command a... God, look at that rate of descent, 4,000 feet per minute. It's a steep path. I think, oh, in defence it's actually diving to capture the path. Alright. Okay, we've briefed the approach, we've briefed the ILS, we've set the minimums. In the event of a missed approach, we'll climb on runway heading 230, 2.6 miles. Right turn heading 307. Crossing radial 277 Düsseldorf, right turn to VOR, climbing to 4,000 feet. Got not bad. Does it not program missed approaches? We've just got direct to bot, whoever that is. Right, I've definitely selected ILS T3 left. Kieran, why have we got gear lights? I think that's a classic feature. What's this rate of descent? Really, 3,500 feet, 290 knots, fair enough. Yeah, this is a classic feature. When the thruster's idle, you get the red gear lights to remind you it's not down. Right, well the missed approach isn't coded. I'll have to just somehow do that in heading select. And then 2-3 left, 3,000 metre runway. We'll vacate Lima 6. Lima 7 I don't think is designed to be vacated on at Düsseldorf. So Lima 7 not approved, so Lima 6 left turn. There is a landing performance calculator, but it's meh. You have to put in all the information manually. It takes ages. And it still asks for things like engine rating. But yeah, it gives you a distance that's less than that. We're fine. It's just a bit fiddly to use. Phoenix is still the absolute goat regarding EFB tablets. Right. Flat foot order brake 3 will make it. Oh, the performance of those dropped off so much. 300 kilos, 700 to burn. 49.2. Flat 30. Order brake is set to 2 probably, actually, if you want to go all the way to there. Perfect. Okay. So, it's in path now. Target speed is way lower. Again, VNAV in the Classic wasn't very good. It could probably do this in real life. But one thing I want to show you, which I don't think is very well modelled here, Longcat and Kieran, please comment on this. Watch what happens when I extend the speed brake to fly detent to the speed. So there's fly detent. It decelerates at about 10 knots every 3 seconds. That seems way too excessive. It's like an arrestor hook. It's so fast that thrust is coming up here to maintain the speed. Surely the speed brake isn't that effective on the Classic, is it? Parking brake set. Anyway, no issue. I mean, I've just stowed it, and the autothrottle can't respond there. That's F28 level of deceleration. Yeah, I think the speed brake's deploying some sort of drogue chute. Yeah, way too effective, I thought so. Yeah, 10 knots every 3 seconds, crazy. Even at 300 knots. Anyway, I'll use it. These are things that... 120. Oh gosh, why didn't you say yoke cam was on, guys? You were trying to catch me out, weren't you? You were trying to see my pretty face. Kieran has had the pleasure of seeing my pretty face. Can't remember how to get you. How do I get yoke cam off? That one. There we go. It's better than on the NG, but not a huge difference. Yeah. Belts on. Yeah, the performance is... What's my FPS right now? I'm in the cruise. I'll show you guys. This is not 23 FPS. It's awful. You know, I've flown lots of aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I know I don't have the newest graphics card ever. It's a 3080, but this is very poor performance. It's a shame. It's something is really, you can see it, look. Very FPS intensive. And I can't say, oh, people can't say, oh, it's your streaming software or anything like that. I fly loads of different add-ons. I always usually get 35, 40 plus. Yeah, sorry, Jack. Sorry about the show, guys. Dan, you've got a 4070 Ti and that's struggling. Crikey. Kieran never flew the 500, but the 300 was like a tractor, dead easy to slow down. 800 was dead slippery compared. Yeah, the 800. Well, I guess you left before you ever flew Max. They are super slippy. Robert, it's definitely not World Update, because I don't have the World Update installed at the moment, and I've tried the aircraft, the scenery in the default Cessna, and it was really good FPS. It's 100% the plane, unfortunately, Robert. Anyway, 150 or below. Way before the restriction. Big moves over here. So I have no... Yeah, look, guys. This restriction at 150, it's putting me super low. So it shouldn't have put me here. It's having a good old think old VNAV path. Anyway, well, you know what, it could actually, because of that 5,000 foot restriction. Maybe I'm wrong. Probably. Set 5,000 feet. I'm just going to go level change, retard, but we'll have a permanent green box around it. We'll just do 250 knots. Just want to get back on path. Jack, yeah, no worries. Every stream of it saw was stuttery. Robert, the scenery, worst generally in general is bad for me in performance, especially EDDL, Düsseldorf sceneries. Yeah, arm with a green box still. They're permanently on. Right, so at 1900 feet, so just to demonstrate how effective this speed brake is, we're in level change, so that means the aircraft is pitching for a speed, order throttles arm. Let's pull out the speed brake and see what rate of descent we can get. Fly D10. There we go. Oh, 3,000 feet per minute. 4,000 feet per minute. 5,000 feet per minute. It's going to stop at 6,000. Oh, reminds me of those Thunderbird scenes where Thunderbird 2 or Thunderbird 1's diving down to shoot at the baddies. Prepare for action. There we are, yeah, that's... It's got me back on path though, ladies and gentlemen. And I've stowed the speed brake and look at it accelerate. Can you fit... oh yeah, Stuka siren on the 7.3, it needs it. Oh, crikey. It's like using the reverses on the descent, yeah. Anyway... Passing 106, 5,000 feet. We'll set the local QNH actually. QH is 1016. Passing 10,000, 10,300 for 5,000 feet. Checks coming up. Right, match the heading. Okay, let's just turn all the lights on. Angular bank. I never changed it, but it's set to 25, I think. Hopefully 25 degrees. Pressurization 3.5 diff set. Belts on. Recall. Checks complete. Okay, so we're aiming to be at 5,000 feet at this point here. We're going to be way before it, so I have no idea why VNAV path is saying I'm high on profile. That's not working correctly. So we're going to go VS, and again another bug. It hasn't selected speed. So VS, this shouldn't stay in ARM. And look, this is dangerous. If you're not monitoring, your speed's going to drop off. And that's been confirmed by Longcat. That's a bug. So when you select VS, this should automatically illuminate, and MCP speed should automatically engage. Anyway, look, we're going to be at 5,000 feet here. So what I'm going to do is not use VNAV now, which is clearly not providing good guidance. It was better on my test sector, but this is not great. Classic has quite a high flight idle on the engines that make the plane artificially slippy at lower altitude. Oh really? Interesting. We're not going to use replay tool. I tried it yesterday, doesn't work. This add-on, so I can't do replay landing, but god, the performance in this. Anyway, there's the MKStudios Düsseldorf scenery. There's a few aircraft on the ground there anyway. I might change to another aircraft to preview the scenery. So I like MKStudios stuff. Obviously, I'm very fortunate to get the scenery. And you could argue I'm biased, but it's one of the few scenery devs that actually provide incredible detail at very good FPS. Kieran, can you, VSD on your side, please?
The Düsseldorf DOR heading 030. Head outbound 12 miles and turn right onto the ILS 23.
It's great to have classic pilots here. So Kieran and Longcat, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it to provide input for me, because I'm an utter noob with the classics. But yeah, let's zoom in here. Could be interesting to see what this plane would. I based on the fact that doing a normal flight is quite hard work, we're not going to try a go around today. The go around's not even coded in the FMC properly, so yeah, we'll land off this. And I think we won't fly again until there's a significant update, I'm afraid. It's just no point. If it was working really well and I was really impressed, I'd do another stream straight away, or was it planned as my next stream, but there's too much wrong with it. Still got these wiggly wings, haven't we? Flappy bird. Anyway, one to go. The FPS in this is awful, and you can't blame it on the scenery. It just this aircraft, it's just stuttery. All right, let's reduce to the up speed, which I think is that little green dot, like an Airbus. No, we'll turn base very shortly. Lufthansa 73 Charlie, descend 4,000 feet. Thank you. Did VS just pop open? Eh? That's strange. You want WinFlex and have all the WinFlex in the world. Yeah. Biggest test now is to see how much gets fixed and how quickly, because people are now staked in it, yes. So now we're sort of going to self-position onto base, and then we'll sort of downwind here. This is, to be fair, the LNAV has struggled in the turns with their winds today, but it does fly laterally quite accurately. Want to go again. I'm just going to now self-position downwind. So heading select. And what we'll do is continue that turn onto base leg, and we'll go flat one. And oh, ready for the next bug. See if it works now. Ready for the next bug. Kieran, Longcat, can you confirm this? Gear warning horn. The gear warning horn going off with flaps 1. That doesn't happen in the NG. That's a bug, surely. Flap 5. Thankfully you can cancel it, but that shouldn't be happening with flap 5. Unless the classic drivers can confirm. Thankfully you can cancel it using the gear warning horn, which is here. Shut up! I don't think that's meant to be happening with flap 5, even in the classic. I mean, is that, you're joking? Oh no! Oh my god, I apologise to the devs. Please take that back. How annoying must that be? I'm so sorry. Right. Oh gosh, I'm just going to disconnect. There's no, I don't know, I've not been back to me. This aircraft's too high a workload. Right. We'll send out a 3,000. No way! Ah, I'm so sorry. See, this is the difference. It's a good job I've got classic pilots here. You get the gear warning horn with flat 1 and flat 5. That is so annoying. See, the IXEG didn't do that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I see, this is the difference. It's a good job I've got classic pilots here. You get the gear warning horn with flat 1 and flat 5. That is so annoying. See, the IXEG didn't do that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I see, this is the difference. It's a good job I've got classic pilots here. You get the gear warning horn with flat 1 and flat 5. That is so annoying. See, the IXEG didn't do that. Of armed forelock, am I? Yeah, I'm arm approach. Like, nice CDA by myself, if one can comment. Localizer alive. And we're heading 230. Alright, VS, that's fine. Flat 5 we have. So yeah, please comment that the gear warning horn is accurate with flat 1, flat 5. I love that comment there. You're constantly on the cancel button as the FO. Defeats the object of having it. I'm glad they updated that with the NG. Right, waiting for glide slope capture. I have to say that all the animations on the PFD and the displays are really nice. I think the depiction of that's really good. Glide slope capture, missed approach attitude is 4,000 feet. Alright, nicely established on the ILS, flying that nicely. We'll maintain flat 5, and there's no bug speeds on the PFD with the classic by the looks of it. So we'll go 170, yeah. So that is accurate. How annoying. I love realism. But annoying realism isn't great. There we are. Oh, Kieran, what did you say? Did you say a naughty word? Right, look, we're established. The wind is 270 at 10 knots. Seems to be a lot of oscillations. There's no DME on this ILS, so we'll wait until around the 4-mile ring. See, the textures there don't look so great. The engine sounds are a letdown, I'm afraid. I love from the cabin you can hear the gear warning horn, row 16. I think I'm just going to drop the gears soon anyway. Meep. Pain in the lower back, yeah, that old region, brilliant. Right, I'm just. Oh, I need to turn on my landing calculator. Hold on, let me just make sure that's on. Otherwise, you guys won't be happy. Saved. Right, that should come up hopefully. Good. I need to have that assigned to a shortcut key. AG Fenari, I'm going to use that in the future. Paid in the empennage. There we are. No, it's flying the ILS quite nicely. Very accurate on the localizer and glide slope. Right, coming up to 4 miles. Gear down. That's going to stop the gear warning horn at least. Flap 15, I'll just book about 155. Silence. Landing checklist. Star switch. Oh, it's getting really loud. Star switches, continuous recall, checked. Speed brake. Yeah. I can't arm it. There we are. Armed, green light. Landing gear, down 3 green. Order brake. Oh, it's quite flat 15 set. Flap 30 is our landing flap. So 130, 185 knots or less. Yes, I'd go straight to flap 30. And 136. It's definitely a lot louder with the gear down. It's a little bit louder than the nose gear, but not that loud. Aaron Hastings, what triggers the horn? It's thrust lever angle, TLA. So the position of the thrust lever. Right, let's get her established at final approach speed. So flaps, we've got 30 green light. Lights are on, checklist complete. Okay. Disconnecting the auto throttle. Disconnecting the autopilot. Oh, that button didn't work. I thought I signed that. There we are. Autopilot disconnected. Why it trimmed, I don't know. Anyway, I noticed this also on my test sector. It wants to roll. Oh, speed! My goodness me! Oh, goodness me. Yeah, all recovered, all recovered. Oh no, I got a bit of thrust pitch couple there. That was nice. Right, 10 knot crosswind. I've been drifted downwind. Yeah, so if I let go, look. There's a roll to. It always rolls to the left. I did that on my test sector, but to be fair, I've not really preempted. Whoa, watch my Raveson. I've not preempted this crosswind, so let's get back on centre line. I think the thrust pitch couple's alright, but it keeps wants to roll to the left always. Like, keeps rolling to the left. Let go, rolls to the left. There's like a massive left rolling tendency. It's nothing to do with the wind, it just wants to roll. Look at my inputs, like constantly right aileron input.
50, 40, 30, 20.
God, it feels like I'm landing with like a
10.
20 knot crosswind. There's like no flare needed on the PFD. Right, we're down. Speed brake up, reverses. Alright. I didn't flare. Just don't know what happened there. God, my God, I'm not even using. That's auto brake too. I think the auto brake needs adjusting as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Düsseldorf. That was, yeah. This is me on the approach constantly. Right turn. Crosswind, yes, was pushing me there, but there doesn't affect aileron input, guys. There's some sort of weird rolling motion. And also, the auto brake is ridiculous. Well, I don't know if it's reverses effectiveness or what happened there. I had auto brake too, and I was decelerating very quickly with reverse thrust, so I don't know what happened there. Anyway, let's vacate the runway here and do the taxi inflow. Sorry, no replay. Yeah, preempted that because I can't land this aeroplane. But I tried it yesterday, it does not work. This is the beautiful MKStudios Düsseldorf scenery, by the way. Is there any experts here, Lufthansa operations at Düsseldorf? Where should I be parking? I should have asked this question before I vacated the runway. I've vacated at Lima 6 as requested. Which terminal is calling me? Is it terminal B or A or C? I'm gonna make a right turn here. Select the flaps up. Expert. A stand will do. Or A stand will do. I don't know if that's terminal A or A stand. Any stand is a Lufthansa stand if you approach it with the right attitude. Oh, I'm just going to take stand. Oh, they're all wide bodies. Oh, I don't know. Let's go with Bravo 06 because it's close. Anyway, let's carry on with the taxi inflow. Performance seems to have now actually improved now I've landed at MKStudios. Bizarre. Turn off the flight directors. Perfect. Yeah, we'll have a look around the scenery and show you what's what, and then we'll debrief the flight in the aircraft afterwards. What standard we say we're going to take? Bravo 06, which is this way. Oh, it doesn't like to taxi. That's full right. I've got 43% on the outboard. Reduce thrust on the inboard. Crikey. Ugh, come on. There we are. Okay. GSX Bravo 06. Bravo 6, I reckon. No follow me required. I never get lost. Let's have a Lufthansa, as I am Lufthansa. Excellent. APU. Oh, trying to turn on the stand. It's a bit of a pig taxiing, guys. Master caution APU. Low oil pressure. Doesn't usually illuminate the master caution. Right. Oh, sorry, Navigraph. Lufthansa's Terminal A. I'm in Terminal B. Too late. We're committed. I think this is a wide body stand as well, but we'll take it. Ah, there we are. Wait. Oh, yeah. There we are. It says I'm in a C73. Okay. Alright. Oh, where am I meant to be lined up with? Not this line. I do have a GSX profile. Right. It reckons I need to be 1 metre to the right. What's going on here? I've got guidance for 2 stands. I'll go off the left one. Right. Oh, yeah, hold down the brakes, guys. Alright, parking brake is set. Let me finish my taxi inflow. So that can go to out off, trim to 4 units. I think the trim's in a sensible position. Auto brake off, flight directors 4-1. Don't think I put start switches in, continues to take off. Oh, don't forget to turn the packs off before the APU, otherwise you'll blow it up. There we are, and probes off. Great, we can shut down the engines. 2 blues, I saw red, engines dead. I've just moved my armrest. Engine's dead. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Düsseldorf. And I've lost my PFDs again. Seatbelt sign off. Wait until the N2's below a certain amount in real life. And we can now disembark the passengers. GSX style. That's that command. Prepare for or request
The boarding
the
requested.
boarding. There we go. That was not a flawless flight. Take log entry, PFD dead as well, yeah. Every time you switch the bus. We're lucky actually that that issue didn't resurface. Oh, there we are. Anyway, there we are. Deboarding requested. Oh yeah, I've got to open the doors manually. The doors, cargo, chocks. Oh, I wonder if it blows the slide because I left it armed. No, hopefully
Passengers
it
aboard
automatically
started.
disconnected. There we are. Passengers are disembarking. There we go. Beautiful. On stand 06 in the, what was it? Commercial Simulation System 737. Right then, anyway. Not a flawless aeroplane, I'm afraid. Right, before we discuss the aircraft, I'd like to show you this scenery from MKStudios. And because I'm such a generous fellow, and this was gifted to me by MKStudios, I'd actually like to give away a €25 gift card. So you can purchase this scenery, which is both compatible with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and 2024. As I said, MKStudios are very kind to send this here. So that voucher should cover the cost. I'm just going to turn down GSX here. Cover the cost of this scenery nicely. But yeah, have a look here. Bear in mind I'm in the 737-500, which we have proven to be incredibly FPS sensitive. One of the reasons I really do like MKStudio scenery is the detail is incredible, but also it's incredibly FPS friendly. So you've got the main terminal here. Well, actually, no, it's not the main terminal. That was Terminal B. You have A, B, and C. But they're all modelled for these terminals in pretty decent details. If I smash away through in here, poof. Now, I know not for everyone. It's not for everyone having detailed interior terminals, but if you were to fly from this airport in real life, I know a lot of you like to sort of see them and go through their journey through sort of security departures, arrivals, and the boarding gate as well, which you can do with the Düsseldorf. Don't clip that. The Düsseldorf scenery. It's very detailed as well. The tower's really cool design. Yeah, you can see here the modelling of this is MKStudios always goes really well with all this stuff. Düsseldorf scenery. But they've got all the outside modelled, all the signage is correct, you've got cars driving around, superb. Plenty of GSX profiles already available for this, it's only been out a month. But yeah, major base for Lufthansa, 2 runways, ILS on each end, loads of events on VATSIM at this airport every week, I think. I think even today there's a VATSIM event, but we were too early for it. Düsseldorf Mondays. So yeah, if you have Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, 2024, this is certainly one you would like to go and see and get. But my scenery previews aren't always the most detailed because we always do it at the end of a flight. Being a real pilot, I just want to concentrate, but there are plenty of good content creators who go into much more detail with their scenery reviews, so I go check them out. I don't know any off the top of my head, but you've got all the regular GSX characters in here too, but really nice. The night lighting is superb. Microsoft Flight Simulator, the default airports leave a lot to be desired. I occasionally use them, but where possible, I always look into getting sceneries for certain airports, or flying from airports where I'm lucky enough to have the scenery either purchased or had gifted. So yeah, thank you very much MKStudios for showcasing this here. Typical German airport, they've got lots of unique taxiway lines and markings which you'll need the GSX profile for, but yeah, the texture quality is amazing. Düsseldorf, brilliant. Right then, who would like a chance of winning a Contrail gift card so you can purchase this fantastic Düsseldorf scenery for your collection? Don't forget this is both compatible with 2020 and 2024, which is great to see. I'll even love that through the window. That's awesome. There we go. Let's go back towards the aircraft. Superb. Zoom in a bit, zoom out a bit. Oh, can't get the best view. There we go. That will do. Right, as I would not. Oh, well, I'm sure someone else would like it. Anyway, let me set up giveaway in the background, Nightbot. So if you are fortunate enough to win the giveaway, you need to get in contact with me via social media. You can message me on Instagram or X, which I very seldom use, but the best way is probably via email, flightdecksim@gmail.com. That's in the about section of my YouTube page. But all you need to do is answer this very simple question. Nightbot will then detect that you have correctly said the correct answer. And I'm just setting that back in the background. So everyone can enter, viewers, regulars, members, moderators, setting up the keyword now. Okay, that keyword is in. You can use lowercase, uppercase. Alright, it's not case sensitive. Mods and members, behave yourself. Right, can you please put the 4-letter ICAO code for Düsseldorf in chat? And you'll be entered into the giveaway. It begins with E, it ends in L. 4 letters. Not what Domino Mosina would have said. Sasha, you've got it. Bart Freeman, Nietzsche, Scramptor, Negative KD. Excellent. You've got it. Nice try, guys. Very good. Whilst you guys are entering the giveaway here, what else can I mention about Düsseldorf? Highly detailed, realistic rendition, fully modelled terminal interiors, custom designed functional jetways, unique handcrafted taxiway signs, ground services and airport vehicle models, custom points of interest, tower, bridges, train station and more. In fact, I think you can see over here the trains moving around, which is pretty cool. Oh yeah, you can see them on the monorail, look. There you go. All these animations here. All the 3D models, textures crafted with extreme attention to detail, up to date ground layout as of today. Lighting, fully immersed at night. Precision airport, runway elevation data for enhanced realism. Very nice indeed. Did you know Düsseldorf Airport is the it serves 19 million passengers in 2023. I'm just reading the blurb from MKStudios, guys. But you know their scenery is very, very good. Can you show it at night? Of course I can. So we're already illuminated by the spotlights. Superb. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, terminal lighting, amazing. Spotlight lighting, amazing. There's the Düsseldorf Airport sign. Let's have a look at the taxiways. You've got the green taxiway lighting. Obviously there's no lights where I am. The blue edge lighting here. Let's have a look at the approach here. We've got all the runway slope and elevation data programs. What on earth is this song I've got on? I have no idea. Very nice at night. I mean, I've only scratched the surface here with the scenery. When you go beyond the threshold of runway 23, you can see the actual train station. Oh, really? Let's have a quick look at that. If I speed up drone cam, I'll just go back to real time. Oh, look at this. I can navigate my way through Microsoft Flight Simulator with ease. 250 with the drone speed. Oh, yeah. Is the train station here? Beyond the threshold of 23 left. Do you mean the reciprocal runway? Oh gosh, I need a bit more of this drone speed. What's all this over here as well? Is that a car park? Oh, so well modelled, isn't it? I don't even know what this building is here. You've got a hangar you can park your jet in and do engine run test by the looks of it. Cheers, Coach Derek, for your support. Welcome aboard as a member. Glad you enjoyed the content. You get invited to our members-only Discord. I hope you enjoy using the custom modes in chat as well. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, there's a little BizJet apron over here as well. Oh, this drone cam is out of control. The building there was the station. I don't know if the stream's lagging. I'm sure it's modelled. Anyway, I need to run this giveaway. Let me just reset drone cam. There we go. Perfect. Alrighty then, so let's get my soundboard up to celebrate the winner of this giveaway, and we can roll it now. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. The winner of the giveaway is oh, Aaron Hastings. Uh oh. It's a member. Oh no, everyone's gonna think it's rigged. No way. Oh, he's already here. Says, woo! Aaron, well done. You are the winner of this giveaway. To be fair, it's been a very long time since a member has won a giveaway. It's been regular subscribers for a very long time. So there you go. Rigged. Yeah. Very good. Aaron Hastings, well done, Aaron. I'll get in contact with you after the stream in Discord. Oh, my goodness me. Rigged. Yeah. Hashtag rigged. Brilliant. Well done. Right then, so we've seen the MKStudios scenery. Big thanks to them for sending it out. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The commercial simulation system 737. Well, what do you think, guys? For me personally, it needs a lot of work. It's usable. Look, we got it from A to B. But at the price point they're citing, $120, it is way outside of what that price tag. Way outside. Too many issues, which we think we've pinpointed today. Now, there were some things that are quite nice. You know, the handling of the aircraft on takeoff and general handling seemed okay. On final, there was a weird rolling tendency, and on landing there was no flare required. I don't know if that was something there, but there's so many issues from the FMA, the autopilot, the automation. These are critical things when you want to operate an aircraft like this. So yeah, now regarding the subscription price service, I'm going to be controversial here and say I actually quite like the fact that I could subscribe to this, pay £3.50 and not have to worry about this until it comes out again. That's less than the price of a cup of coffee. And if developers were to start using this system, so long as they don't inflate the final price, as if, let's say, a developer started doing it and you could still buy it for the original purchase price, then what's the problem? You can still purchase it if you really want the aircraft, but then it gives a revenue stream. And I'm not trying to say, you know, that companies are big profits here, but there's some really small developers out there who have very small teams, and this is their bread and butter. And if it helps them have a small revenue stream, I can see why it's not a system. Now, a comment there. It doesn't auto-renew, and you have the option to purchase outright, which saves it for me. It does. The purchase price, though, is inexcusable. £120. You know, if they price this at £40, £50, I'd be looking at this differently and saying, it's a price is this. It needs a lot more work before you should go and buy it. This needs a ton of work, and it's nowhere near the asking price. But the subscription system, I'm actually not. I'm not saying I'm a fan of, but I agree with it in principle. So long as you still have the final option to pay what it would have been the original price. Don't inflate the final price if devs start doing this. Don't go, right, well, I make a scenery for, let's say, I don't know, Heathrow, and it's £20, and it's great. You can either then subscribe it now, the final one's £50. That's not fair. But I think the subscription system, I'm very happy to have only paid £3.50, $5, and I'm also very happy it doesn't automatically renew. It doesn't. They've said from the start, yeah, you have to come in and renew manually if you want to keep flying the aircraft, which is great. So yeah, if other devs doing this, I would not argue with that point. I think it's actually a potential revenue stream for small devs and companies. So that's my opinion on that. And you know, I know some people disagree, and I don't like to be controversial. I like to keep a very low profile. I love making content on this channel, but you know, I was sitting on the fence today thinking, should I mention my thoughts on this? I thought I would, and that's what I think. So there we go. Anyway, look, the aircraft, I will fly this again, but it needs updating. It's not accurate enough yet to fly. It's got too many quirks and issues and bugs. Hopefully, I don't know if anyone wants to provide some input from what I've said today. I'm not a classic pilot. In fact, it's been incredibly helpful having Longcat and Kieran in chat today to tell me, yep, this is what the classic does, or no, that's definitely not right. So, you know, this video could be potentially useful for the devs, and, you know, had it been significantly better, I would have said, oh, this is great, you know, go rent it, whatever. So yeah, Aviax says the $120 is for all three variants of the freighter variant. However, currently you're paying for just a promise. Absolutely. You know, they could turn around and say no, and devs do. So yeah, even if it was for all variants, I think that's still too much money. Anyway, that's my opinion on it, and I'd love to see people's feedback on that in the comment section as well. Eric, you said 100% agree. Over the weekend I really want to do a flight in the 350, but I wouldn't likely fly it again, so I would have gone for £5 for a month, but I wouldn't ever buy the actual in the A350. See, that's what it could potentially be very useful for. There's a lot of you here in chat who probably in your virtual hangars have only flown aircraft a handful of times and haven't flown it for months, maybe years, and the subscription system would have been beneficial for you to save some money. Anyway, that's my opinion on it. I'd say if you really want to try this aircraft out and you've got £3.50, $5 to spend, go and try it out. You know, you might enjoy it more than I did. But listen, my rating is 5 out of 10 on this aircraft. There's some nice features, but there's still too much work to do. Textures are okay, but the whole automation, yeah, there's too much. As you said, just play the flight back to see what was wrong. But anyway, thank you very much for everyone's input today. Longcat and Kieran especially, really appreciate it too. Longcat, you agree, going to try it for $5, but won't be buying the full thing unless it becomes literally perfect. Ah, yeah, for $120 it has to be perfect to get that price, which it's far from being. Anyway, let's conclude things here. Once again, thank you very much to everyone that came in today for today's live stream. We will see this aircraft again. I will wait patiently for a significant update before that's the case. Thanks to everyone's generosity today, and anyone that joined as a member, and to all the members, thank you very much for your continued support. Back to work tomorrow. I've got a couple of standbys here, but you know, we've got a lot of trips to the doctors with the baby, just the regular health checks, which comes at 6 to 8 weeks or so. But I'll do what I can, subscribe to Stay Up to Date, and turn on the bell notification. You'll be notified when I am planning a stream. Take care, guys. Enjoy the upcoming week, and I'll see you very soon. Cheerio.